Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Lavinia Stamps, one of the creative contributors, and today we're going to be making this gorgeous cloche card. I just love being able to put things in this little glass cloche, and thought it might work quite well with this vine branch. So it's just sitting there. Somebody's been and collected these toadstools, mushrooms growing on the branch. So let's get started. I'm using 6x6 multifarious. So we need the vine branch and the fallen leaves ink pad. So let's get inking. There we go. To sit this cloche on the branch, we need mask. So I've already stamped this and cut it out. We'll be stamping that over there, and then it will look like it's sitting on the branch. So using fallen leaves again. So there we go, we've inked that up, and I'm going to make sure this is looking straight as well. And there we go. And then we're going to wrap the other branches round the cloche. Want to make this trunk look a bit broader. You can see I stamped another bit of the trunk on there to make it look like it's sitting on there. So to do that, I've got a mask for covering up this bit because I want the branch to look like it's gone underneath here. But I also want this negative side when I do the stencil. So keep that to hand. And let's put that branch across, just making this bit look a bit fatter. There we go. And then we're going to add some more of this branch around and about so that it just looks more tree-like. There's a bit more tree going on. So I'm just going to use this bit here just to make sure I don't get any marks on. I can just pop that over the top there. I'm going to overlap a little bit here, but I'm joining on that bit of branch to that main chunky bit. There we go. And I don't need to worry about the leaves because we're going to add some Posca pen to those. And we'll just have some more bits, I think, going on around here. So let's add a bit more ink. We're going to use the whole one this time. Now, I'm not going to mask the cloche because it's glass, so you would see the colour through the glass. But when I colour it in, it kind of makes it go to the back. Make it look like it's coming from a main stem. Some around there. There we go. There we are. So we want to add some of those toadstools inside the cloche. Now I'm using a couple of the new purple shrooms. So we'll add those in there. Again, I'm just going to use the fallen leaves. Pop these in here. We don't have to worry about them going over the top of those branches because we're going to use Posca to colour them in, so you won't see let's get colouring. So I've used a mixture of the clean colour pens and the Poscas. Fine detail brush, paint with the colour from the pen. You could use pencil crayons if those are what you've got. You could even use your elements inks. You can, just like I've done this with the pen, you can dab your ink pad down and add some water. That was truffle. And you can combine them if you like. There's a few ways of adding colour. So there we go. And then the bit behind the cloche, I'm just going to make put a bit more water on there just so it's a bit. And let's get yellow, pat it out before. Just going to colour in the lid, as it were. And the base here. Might add a bit of brown in here as well. You can blend it in. Maybe just go back to that. Oh. I find I have just a bit more control over it when I use a paintbrush, but that's personal preference really. If you want to use your pen straight on top, please do so. So what I'm doing is just making it a bit darker around the edges to give that depth, because it would be a bit darker if it was around there. There we go. Colouring in this mushroom. I'm going to grab a red Posca pen. Let's get colouring. Oh, that's quite full. Okay. And this is emerald green, I think I'd call it. Teal, but that doesn't matter as long as we're using the right one. But again, you can use whichever colours suit you. And while that's drying, we'll add the leaves. And again, some of these are at the front there. These ones are behind, so I'm not going to colour them particularly as bright, so they look like they're behind the glass. And there we go. Brown stems. There we go. Missed a bit there. Maybe some teal edges to these red shrooms. So this is called smoky teal. There we go. We're going to add the background, just a light, as it were. So grab a stencil brush. So I'm going to use Bermuda because I like, it's a kind of greeny blue, so we'll get that nice idea of being in a forest or amongst the trees. And I'm holding the brush quite lightly because I can always go back and put some more ink on. You can see I've gone a bit darker there than I intended. But that's okay. Get some over here. Quite a good way of washing your brushes, because as you fade out, you get the ink off. So I'm just balancing out that bit where I made it a bit darker by making it a bit darker in other places as well. There we go. Then we'll get our stencil that we made, and I'm going to add the colouring on here. So let's mask that off. So I'm going to be adding green using green sleeves and olive. So green sleeves being mainly in the middle and the olive around the edge. There we go. Let's add some olive. There we go. And we're just going to add some white Posca pen and add some dots to those purple shrooms, and I'm going to add a bit of texture to the base of the cloche. Ray or something like that. This is a chunky pen. Just add some stones. There we go, just to ground them a bit. Then we want to add our shadow, as it were, on the, as it were, the light's catching on this cloche. Maybe a bit here, catch there probably, and a bit here. If we want, we can smudge it out a little, and I'm going to give a bigger section of light coming here. Underneath there. I've got some of the glittery Posca. Make these little toadstools a bit shiny. And we could even add some to some of the leaves, add a bit of sparkle. And all we need to do is just add some words. Magical things in that cloche. Now I've just seen it and now I can't find it again. There we go. And what I'm backing it on is, if you've seen my videos before, you'll have seen it. I keep all these bits and pieces where I've been demoing or where I've been playing with dinkles through stencils. So I've got all bits and pieces like this. Sometimes I use them as a background for a card or a tag, but this time I just used it to mount the words on. So I just go with this bit here where there's a bit less white. Stick that on there, trim it round. I can find things today because I've cleared things off my desk and I've got one of those, I've got two of those nice IKEA notice boards, and I've put all my things I need to hand on there. So I should pop that there, I think. And there we go. Magical things found in the forest. Hope you've enjoyed that, and let me know if you have a go. Love to see them. Thanks.